What's going on, everyone? So reports have came out that the Houston Rockets are not interested in trading for Jimmy Butler, and I think that that's great news if you're a Houston fan. If you're a Rockets fan, you should be very thankful for that because the Rockets are on the right trajectory. And I've talked about this briefly in other videos, which is why I'm glad that we got this news so I can kind of highlight and dive into it even further. Because, look, Houston, they are a very good, very young, very deep, very talented team with a bunch of versatility and athletes, and they're on the right track. They are at some point going to have to start making some tough decisions because guys are going to have to start being paid and need extensions and all that. Like at some point, they're going to have to make some tough calls. You're going to have to make some tough decisions, but stay the course. Doesn't mean that you don't, if that right star becomes available or that right trade presents itself, that you don't jump on it. But we have seen so many times teams clearly on the right trajectory and just botch it. I mean, look at Minnesota. Minnesota's just in the conference finals. No one would have been shocked if they went to the NBA finals. Again, I see a lot of Timberwolves fans trying to justify why they had to move off Karl Anthony Towns and stuff. You didn't have to move off of them when you did, right? If you wanted to trade them, you had plenty of opportunity to trade them at the trade deadline, next offseason, whatever. You got to at least run it back and look and see, can you get there? You were right there. Didn't work out. Can you maybe make a minor move or two and end up winning a championship and then figure it out, right? You don't go and just sabotage your team, especially for the trade that they did. And they might have been able to get a better return and a better package had they have been patient rather than just jumping the gun the first opportunity they got. Saw it with Atlanta. They're in the conference finals. Right? Young team, stay the course, got some nice vet guys, right? Perfect. And then they go and get DeJounte Murray. And it's like, and now it set them back. Luckily, they were able to kind of, retool here a little bit. But even then, like, there's still some moves that they're going to have to make. And it just set them back a couple years, right? You look at team, Sacramento, another team. They were in the same spot. Nice young team. Top of the standings in the Western Conference, looked like a team that was in the right trajectory, in the right direction. Keegan Murray, they got Malik Monk, Sabonis, De'Aaron Fox. Just got to can you upgrade Harrison Barnes? Can you get some more like legit 3-and-D wing type guys, right? Some better just perimeter defensive pieces, and you're probably right there contending for championships. Had a hard-fought series against the Warriors who were coming off championship. Not just that, but they were a team that they had the experience. Sacramento was there. And now look, now they go and they get DeMar DeRozan. It was the last thing they needed. Didn't make sense. Teams are usually their own worst enemy. Teams usually sabotage themselves. Stay the course. If you're Houston, you don't need to jump the gun on anything, right? Would a Jimmy Butler make Houston better? Probably, right? Like if you had Jimmy Butler on this roster, probably pretty tough, right? Playoff Jimmy, real thing. You got the athletes, you got the youth. Right, you got the quality vet pieces to where plug in Jimmy, you can make some noise. Are they winning a championship? Probably not. Right, like Jimmy Butler's done more with less. Don't get me wrong, but it's also in the Eastern Conference, big difference where you only have to go through like 2 teams really every season. Where in the West you have to go through like 10. Right, like it's a big difference. But it's also his age, his contract, all those. It just doesn't make sense. Like for Jimmy, I can see why Jimmy wants to go there. I can see why Jimmy looks at that and goes, hey, that could be a good destination for me. That could be a good spot. I understand why Jimmy has that team on his list of destinations he would like to go to. They're an organization that wants to win, will do whatever it takes to win, right? Like constantly hearing them in murmured trade discussions or whatever. But if you're Houston, Jimmy is not the right guy, right? You got him for what? Maybe 2 years, 3 years, let's say. Like he's already dealing with injury issues. He hasn't been this model of health. There's questions about, how serious does he take the regular season? Obviously, playoffs, he would be huge. He'd be massive. But you're probably not winning a championship just with Jimmy alone. You probably got to go get that other piece, get that other move. When, again, you could stay the course, keep the assets and the pieces you have. You're in great position for if that, a Giannis becomes available or something. Right now you can go make that push. And now if you get yards, it's like, okay, well now maybe we should go make that move and go get a piece. Or maybe you can get 2 guys. Like, say Phoenix ends up losing in the first round again. Do they go, hey, like Devin Booker, right? Like we're looking to trade Devin Booker or Kevin Durant or something like that. Somebody that adds and elevates the ceiling but doesn't take away from the guys that you have. Jimmy Butler is a guy that I do think I don't have any questions about fit. I don't have any, because Jimmy Butler is one of the most like unselfish stars. You think of stars, like most stars, they have to get their 18, 20 field goal attempts, right? They got to get their 25 to 30. Like Jimmy doesn't care, right? Like, hey, Green, you're killing it. You're lighting it up. Keep going, right? I'll stand over here. I'll do the dirty work. I'll do the defense. I'll die for loose balls, sacrifice my body. I'll do the things necessary for us to win this game, right? Hey, you need me to go get you 30 tonight? Give me the rock. Let's go, right? Like, he's a guy that he doesn't care. Right? He's one of the few stars that are willing to do the dirty work, that are willing to grind and do the things necessary to at any level to win, right? If you want him to just get, 15, 5, and 5 every game, it'll get you 15, 5, and 5. He doesn't care. As long as they're winning and they're in good position, he's good. So he is a guy that I don't think would take away from like what you're trying to do. But again, it's just the age, the contract, what you'd have to give up to get him. I just don't think it makes sense. Like a team like the Warriors makes all the sense in the world because of Steph and how much longer you realistically have Steph, right? So you're kind of in this like, really like 2-year window, maybe 3-year window, which makes sense for Jimmy Butler, makes sense for Steph, makes sense for the Warriors to maybe go pull that type of trade, pull that type of move. Let the Warriors go get him, right? Yeah, Warriors would be tough. No one wants to play Steph and Jimmy in a 7-game series. But if you're Houston, you're not looking to win. Yeah, if you could win the championship, of course, but you're not necessarily doing that. Right? Does anyone really look at Houston and go, oh man, they're winning the chip this year? Right? Could they like stumble into the conference finals, some of that? Sure, of course, right? But realistically, they're probably not winning anything this season. Right? Like, stay the course. You don't need to try to expedite this process with an aging star that's had injury issues. And yes, probably makes you better, but you're not there. Now, if you could get like Jimmy Butler and like Giannis or something, right? Like if Giannis, like say you went and you knew, like Brooklyn, where it was like, if we take Kyrie, we can get, Kevin Durant. Or like, the Clippers, where it was like, ooh, if we go trade for Paul George, we could get Kawhi, right? Like if you could get like a package where like, one of these other stars were like, hey, if you get Jimmy, I'll force my way to you too. And then now you're doing something like that, then sure. But outside of that, just to go get Jimmy Butler, just to get Jimmy, just doesn't make a lot of sense for the Houston Rockets. And I don't want to see another good, young, promising team sabotage themselves, trying to star chase, do some. I will say though, if they had Daryl Morey still, this is the kind of thing that you could see Daryl Morey doing. Right? So Houston's lucky that they don't have Daryl Morey, because I can see Daryl Morey being like, I need to go get Jimmy Butler, right? Like, and just making the jump, because he likes the names on the back of the jerseys, right? And instead of looking at like, man, you have all this good young talent, you have multiple pieces that can do multiple things, you got a ton of athleticism, ton of versatility, perimeter defense, you got the right kind of vets. I still think they overpaid for some of them, but still, look, it's working out, right? Like, can't really complain. They're having an incredible season. And you're seeing this team and these young guys really start to take strides. They're really starting to get further or closer and closer to where they want to be as far as the team goes, as far as winning championships, all that stuff. I don't think you break that up. I don't think Jimmy Butler's the right star trade. Again, be patient and just let the cards fall where they may. At some point, you're going to have to start making decisions. At some point, you're probably going to have to package several of these guys and go get somebody else. Try to go get that higher end tier guy. At some point, you're probably going to have to, do you look to move Eason or, Cam Whitmore as a guy that, a lot of people are kind of talking about like, hey, like they need to trade him. Like that poor kid's just stuck in the G League and can't find a roster spot. Like they're going to have to make some decisions on some of these guys, right? At some point, guys are going to start getting paid. Guys are going to start getting these contracts, but you still have time, right? So stay the course, be patient, let the cards fall where they may. Let the things develop the way that they need to develop. And, it's one of those, like, if you build it, they will come, right? You're clearly building the nucleus and foundation that other stars are taking notice to and are seeing. And you're going to get that guy that's like, man, like, I can go to Houston, I can, me and, let's say they have to trade Green, but like me, Şengün, Eason, like Fred VanVleet, right? Like Dylan Brooks, right? Like, you got these guys, man, like we might be able to win this thing. Might be able to win this championship, right? Like, and now you're right there. Make that quality move, now you're in that conversation, right? Houston and OKC are the two teams right now. Spurs I think are on the rise, but they're still they're like where Houston and OKC was a couple seasons ago. But Houston and OKC, they're those teams that they're right there. Just stay the course. Don't get scary. Don't get crazy, right? But anyway, as always, this is a discussion. Pass a question on you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. What do you think? How do you feel? What are your thoughts? Do you agree with me? Disagree with me? Kind of mixed in the middle. Do you think stay the course? Do you think no, go get that star. Go get a Jimmy. However you feel, whatever your thoughts are. Either way, I'd love to hear it. So let me know down in the comments below. That being said, if you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. Helps me a lot. So we enjoy these types of videos, and I truly appreciate it. Not subscribe to the channel, hit that subscribe button. Turn on the bell notifications. Appreciate y'all. See you in the next one.